Welcome to today's video. You may just think, oh, this looks so much like yesterday's video or the one before that. Yes, it is very similar. Today we're not going to talk about how twin flames are created. This is the last video. We're talking about the purpose of twin flames, why they are created or why they are born, what is behind that. And if you want to watch the entire video, I have like more than 2.5 hour lecture on twin flames. It's a different type of divine counterpart connections. It is one of the very first video I did. Also, you will find a playlist about divine counterpart connections, of course, with this video, so check it out. But right now we're going to talk about twin flames specifically and about two different type of twin flames. We're going to talk about the split twin flames and the monadic twin flames because the journey is a little bit different. You see in this video I'm talking about soulmates as well, so about different kind of soul connections because they all have different purposes. Here we talk about soul twins. A soul twin can be confused with a twin flame, but it is a different purpose. There is something else behind it. But yeah, split twin flames. So split twin flames, they are born mainly because of their own journey. It's a blueprint of a soul or two souls, you could say, that once were one soul. They share the higher self, they share the oversoul, not so much the higher self, I'm sorry, I misspoke. They share an oversoul, and you see that in the last video I did. Okay, it's how are twin flames created. You will find that video in the Twin Flame 101 playlist. But right now we're talking about split twin flames. Why are they created? And mainly they're created for their own journey. It's a blueprint. A soul do that to ascend, and there are other forms of ascending as well. Some people, especially a while back, they went into the monastery and they were meditating for many years in order to find spiritual ascension. It used to be more like a conscious choice, even though it's always some kind of inner calling to, for example, go to the monastery. But right now we're talking about different ways of ascension. I just recently recorded a video that is called the Age of Aquarius and Twin Flames, because twin flames always have existed, but right now there's more than twin flames than ever before. So the dynamic has changed and more souls chose this specific blueprint in order to ascend, in order to heal shadows. And the split twin flames, they also came a lot to heal generational shadows when it comes to family karma and of course their own karma. So it's a lot about healing and dealing with shadows. Of course, we're going to talk about the monadic twin flames next. It's a little bit different for monadic twin flames, but yeah, let's talk more about the split twin flame journey. Why did they come to this earth? Why did a soul prior to incarnation, that is important, prior to incarnation, decide to go on this path to meet their twin flame? Everybody has a split twin flame. You probably saw that in my last video. Everybody has a split twin flame. Not every split twin flame couple decides to meet. Those who decided to meet, that was something that was in a soul contract, that was agreed on prior to incarnation in this life in order to heal and ascend. So yeah, split twin flames, they have been a soul for a long time until they split into two. Both are not half souls, they're all complete, and everybody has a split twin flame, but not all are incarnated at the same time and meant to meet in this lifetime. I talk more about this in the last video. So split twin flames, they meet to trigger and heal oppressed trauma. The connection can be very painful until the lessons are learned. And the feminine energy learned to let go. And important, letting go does not mean giving up, but simply surrendering and giving the connection to the divine. Or also, of course, manifesting by dealing with your shadows. And I wrote here feminine energy, not divine feminine, because often there may be some distortion left. And then we learn to step into the divine. But if you are connected to one person for a long time and you're still in victim mentality and you're saying, oh, they are abusive, they are a narcissist, they treat me bad, it's their fault and they're not choosing me, then of course this means you're still very much in a distorted, not in the divine energy, because divine energy recognizes, wait, I created that. It is my shadows that are getting mirrored back to me, so I now step into my power and I claim responsibility for everything that is happening to me, because it is what is getting mirrored back to me. So I need to heal. And it's not the other person. I always say, if we eat unhealthy and we get acne, it's not the fault of the mirror to show us acne. It's our own fault for eating unhealthy and then being mirrored that back to us. So when we stay stuck in cycles of negative thinking, it has nothing to do with the other person. It's our own stuff, and that is getting mirrored back to us until we have learned to overcome that. Yeah, for those who have dealt with a soul twin, a second phase of awakening is getting triggered. I talk more about this in the entire lecture. But for many, it may be the first awakening. But it does start this development and initiates the cleansing process when it comes to trauma and karma. And for me, karma has nothing to do with another person. It is unhealed stuff within us that is getting mirrored back to us. So this process, the healing karma is often getting triggered due to the typical runner and chaser dynamic. But please be mindful. Not just because it's runner and chaser does that mean it's a twin flame. No, it could be a karmic connection. It could be anything, The runner and chaser dynamic does happen in twin flame connections. Of course, it must happen if you have fear of abandonment, if you have old fear of loss and those wounds. You cannot attract a mirror that is giving you commitment. It's simply impossible. It defies the law of attraction. It defies the law of assumption. It defies any natural law. You already can attract what you're vibrating or what's inside you. Is it your negative thinking, your negative emotions? It's our own responsibility to clear that. So of course they have to run if you have that kind of dynamic within you, but they don't have to be a twin flame, because you can switch the mirror. If you don't like what one mirror shows you, you buy another mirror, they will show you the same thing. It doesn't have to be a twin flame mirror. It can be any kind of mirror. So many people, unfortunately, they're dealing with karmics and chasing, and then they're saying, oh, it must be a twin flame because of that. And that is really upsetting me, because you limit a divine connection to one small portion, the running and chasing and things. Just because this tiny thing is happening, it must be a twin flame, and it couldn't be further from the truth. So the split flame is a perfect mirror to show all hidden shadows, aspects, and it brings them to light. But another triggering factor is that often, but not always, at least one split twin flame is already in an established relationship when they first meet. Not necessarily, but often that is a factor. Because remember, when you have fear of loss and abandonment, you cannot attract somebody who gives you commitment. So in the 3D, there must be a reason why commitment is not possible in this instant. There needs to be something to overcome first. So when you overcome your fear of a commitment and loss, and you work on your self-love, and you work on your assumptions about the other person, as long as you think, oh, they are with their karmic, you're manifesting them being with their karmic, because you keep telling the universe they have somebody else, and the universe thinks you want to experience whatever you constantly put your focus on. So if you think another person, of course you manifest another person. And the universe cannot give you anything else unless you clear your assumptions and you manifest, I'm the only one, I'm the chosen one, I'm the one who is always loved, I'm the one who is able to give and receive true love. Once we have feel that, of course, then you can, they can leave their then partner and come to you. But as long as you have fear of loss and abandonment, of course, they cannot give you commitment. So whatever the 3D reason is, it might be another partner. It may be something else that keeps them unavailable. For example, mental health issues or long distance, whatever it is, there must be some factor that keeps them away until you have cleared your stuff. Yeah, fun fact, even the ancient philosopher Plato wrote about these split twin flames, and this phenomenon has been known for thousands of years. In my language, we call them Dualseelen, this is German, which translates to duality souls, and many people falsely use this term synonymous to twin flames, but it is a different kind of connection. So yeah, for a while I thought it would be the same until I have learned that lesson myself. I was dealing with a duality soul, which is a split twin, and the split twin was a preparation. It was a catalyst for me. So if you have heard the term catalyst twin flame, then it would be a split twin flame that you deal with in order to attract the monadic twin flame. But of course, you could have dealt with a karmic or a soulmate before attracting the twin flame. So it doesn't have to be that you go from a split twin to monadic. You could have gone from something else to a split twin flame. But yeah, twin flames and monadic twin flames and split twin flames is a different kind of connection. Split twin flames absolutely can come together. There are only two reasons that could hinder this. And this is where we go back to why are twin flames created? To heal the two reasons, or the reasons that block union. First, the divine feminine, I should say distorted feminine at this point, is unable to free herself from her shadows and old programming and stays stuck in victim mentality, blaming the masculine for whatever he does that triggers her and mirrors her insecurities. So as long as she stays in this energy, of course, she cannot manifest another outcome. She cannot manifest union, and it's not on him, it's on her to deal with that. But yeah, she never overcomes that. Of course, there cannot be union. It's simply impossible. The second reason, the feminine is one of the rare monadic twin flames, like me, or just twin flame, and a split twin flame was another catalyst to prepare her for her twin flame, since those can only be attracted once she has overcome all of the trauma. So you see, the split twin flame, it's for the healing journey and then union if you don't have a monadic twin flame. And the monadic twin flame would be for even more spiritual ascension. You know, you can ascend in the split twin flame connection as well, of course, but the monadic twin flame would shove that to the next level. So for that reason, a duality, so a split twin flame, can in those cases be called a catalyst twin flame. So another fun thing is split twin flames often, but not always, even look opposite from each other. Why is it opposite? Well, if you saw my last video about, or the entire lecture about how split twin flames are created, then you see that once they were one soul, and then that was split into two souls, not two half souls, but two perfect souls. And of course, that means that they are polarities, they're polar opposites, and that can often even be seen in their looks. So the German name duality soul makes sense, since they are complementary in many regards, but still a perfect match once the shadow aspects are healed and they can unite. However, they have things in common as well, since for a long time they actually were one soul, but a split in feminine and masculine energy, so that they are the same yet polar opposites. And if they had nothing in common at all, they wouldn't be a good fit, but a split twin flame would be your perfect fit. You share the oversoul. I do have a playlist about the signs of divine counterparts in astrology, and there in the, I believe, third and fourth video, I go into detail when it comes to these energies. So for that reason, in split twin connections, the feminine energy is often very, very feminine, and the masculine energy is often very masculine. And remember that feminine and masculine has nothing to do with their gender. The feminine energy can be incarnated in the male body and vice versa. And of course, there can be homosexual split twin flames as well. Still, one holds the feminine and one holds the masculine energy. But again, for most people, the split twin is the closest soul connection in their existence. It is the perfect fit. Split twin flames are romantic connections, they're not family or friends. But even though they have their own souls, but they share the oversouls, and they have their own bodies, they are connected through cords that connect all of their main chakras. So the split twin flames, they know each other very well, and they can sense the other person's thoughts and or moods. There can be telepathy and or a reading of the other person's feelings and mood. They understand each other blindly, and often there's a strong sexual chemistry. I just recently recorded a video on Pluto. It's in the Signs of Divine Counterpart Connections. It will be uploaded this next Monday. When they meet, well, there are all sorts that usually volunteer to clear a lot of ancestral karma, so they often, but not always, had more or less severe traumatic experiences in their childhood or youth. So yeah, topic of this video, why do they incarnate? What's their purpose? They clear the energy of family trauma to make it easier for following generations, but also for themselves. So if they're successful, they get their blissful union because they have cleared their shadows. And remember, we attract what we are. And if we learn self-love, once they have felt their self-love, they can only attract things that mirror that back to them. And fun fact, in astrology, Venus is connected to love and money. So they can attract both and really enjoy a very beautiful life if that is what they choose, because they don't have these shadows within them anymore that would block their manifestations. So this is the reason why they come in order to help their family karma, or also friends around them, to when they change the energy, of course at the same time they change the energy of people around them, and to attract their happy ending. But it is a false premise. The divine feminine has to wait for the masculine to wake up and be ready. She is like a magnet. Once she is in her power, she will attract union. Her magnetizing energy will be stronger than her fears, and he has to come forward. So don't be there waiting, oh, when is he finally coming? No, you do you. You go, you have fun with your friends, you have a new hobby, whatever it is. You make sure you are in good moods, good positive thoughts, and that is when he will come. If you focus on them being absent, that's what you order for the universe, their absence, and they will stay absent. So you can manifest being with them by visualizing being with them, and also of course by just raising your own thoughts, energy, and because remember, they mirror your self-love, and you have to treat yourself well in order to be in self-love, and then they can show you how amazing you are. So instead of waiting for him, she needs to work on her own issues and limiting belief systems. The divine feminine determines when it is time for union, and not the divine masculine. I have videos on that in the Twin Flame 101 playlist, When is Union, about ghosting. You can watch those if you want to learn more about that. But every change in her energy system will be immediately mirrored back to her by the divine counterpart, in any type of divine counterpart. Why? I just told you earlier, especially in the split twin flame, you're still connected with energy cords. So your progress is projected onto them. Or when we talk about different timelines, you would change to the timeline where they match your frequency, and they of course will have developed themselves as well. If she just waits for him to suddenly appear, she might wait for years or decades. And I do have clients like that. But I do have clients, they go and it clicks and they do the work, and then all of a sudden they have major progress. It is her job to draw him in. So again, this is one of the reasons for split twin flames. She wants to learn that. She wants to learn how powerful she is, not by manipulating him, not by forcing him, not by doing anything in the 3D, but by changing her energy. This is the purpose of twin flames. It's the own inner evolution. It is connecting to the own inner divine, and divine means creative energy. It is not his job to come when she isn't ready. He can't. Impossible. And of course, I'm not talking about the ego, who will pretty much always think that she is ready. Yeah, been there, done that. I'm talking about being in a vibration of self-love and trust in this connection, and she has already healed her past trauma. Then and only then will she be able to draw him in and stay in union. Of course, you can manifest your person reaching out before that, but if you're not healed and you still have negative belief systems, he will have to go again, and then you can have the on-off for years or decades until the divine feminine has learned her lessons. So if you're wondering why it is her job, the feminine energy is the more spiritual energy and the masculine is more anchored in the matrix energy. She is the way shower. And then when we want to talk about metaphysics, it is her job to change your energy, to shift timelines to where he is ready. You cannot do that for another person. You can only change your energy. In manifesting, the saying is there's no one to change but self. And it doesn't even have to be a twin flame, any kind of connection. So I was talking about that in the other video. So let's talk about the monadic twin flames. What's the purpose of monadic twin flames? This form of twin flames is by far the rarest one, and I wrote there 144,000. I am not sure if it's connected, but I think it might be actually. Monadic twin flames are romantic connections, just like split twin flames. They are not friends or family members. And they are ancient souls who either meet at the end of their incarnation or their earthly incarnation cycle, or who already are ascended masters that came to earth for a mission to help in a mass awakening happening right now. So you already see it's a step further. The split twin flame comes for the own evolution and to clear family trauma, break family karmic cycles. The monadic twin flames came for the same reason, but even more so to help in the mass awakening. So they're higher vibrational beings, or they're, what I said earlier, it's about the healing journey, but then even more about the ascension journey. So monadic twin flames, they only meet after they have gone through a massive awakening process, at least the feminine. This is why they often meet later in life. If you have a monadic twin flame, again, they're rare. Whereas the split twin journey is about awakening and healing, the monadic twin flame journey is for ascension. And even though it is a romantic connection, they came with a mission. Split twin flames as well. We already talked about that. Family karma. It's a mission as well. The own healing and ascension is a mission as well. But for monadic twin flame, it is a bit further. So the split twin flames are joined through energy cords that connect the chakras. And monadic twin flames, they share their energy centers. If you want to see more about that, please check out the video from before, how are they created. I'll talk more about that in that video, and you will see the graphic. And when they meet, there is an instant soul recognition. Often they dream of their twin or have a premonition before their first meeting that is quite unusual and divinely guided. So the split twin flame, they also have the soul recognition, and I just reminded you of the video I did about Pluto connections in twin flame. Check it out if you want to learn more about the famous instant soul recognition, love at first sight, that is connected to Pluto. But yeah, both have this, but the monadic twin flame often have the premonition. That can happen with a split twin flame, of course, as well. It depends on how open you are, how open your higher chakras are, and how easy you can connect to this energy. But the first meeting, usually it is quite unusual and divinely guided. It is a meeting where you think, how did those two people meet? It's cannot be chance. It is weird. It's different. They usually don't meet by going to a dating app. It's like completely guided, and usually very unusual stories. And they usually look somewhat alike. Body morphing can happen. We said split twin flames often look complete opposite, not always. Soul twins often look a lot alike, which is another form of divine counterparts. I talk about this in the entire lecture. And also I do have an astrology video on that, and the signs of divine counterparts astrology. But yeah, they start looking more and more alike the longer they are connected. And both twin flames have the instant soul recognition that usually happens in the first eye contact. You see both. It's not just one. If it's just one-sided, it may be a catalyst connection. A catalyst connection is preparing for a divine counterpart that will later come. So you don't have to go through this journey with that person, because for some people they are either it would be a very long journey, or they cannot meet before that, because they agreed to meet at a certain point. So often there is another soul that's like, yeah, I help you to get you on a specific step because you agree to meet your divine counterparts at that time, and by then you will already have dealt with some of your stuff. That is something that can happen. So even though they may be separated in the beginning of their journey, it is by far not as painful as in a split twin connection, since the trauma connection to abandonment and loss is already healed or nearly healed. Otherwise, you won't be able to draw a monadic twin flame in if you have one. For the most part, it is blissful even in separation. There is a feeling of belonging, but not possessiveness. In the beginning of a split twin flame journey, there can be possessiveness, yes. Once because often you're still somewhat in distorted energy. In karmic connections, there is possessiveness, but not in monadic twin flame connections. And you feel that they are part of you even in separation. So this means if you are in pain and devastated because you are separated, then you are not dealing with a monadic twin flame connection. Because once you have done the healing, you would not fall back. There is a longing for the other one, but the deep inner knowing of connection predominates by far. True twin flames know that they are not separated ever, and therefore there is no pain, and maybe only on very rare bad days. I mean, we're still human, all of us. There may be rare bad days, not weeks, not months, and not like once a week. It's really rare, but of course sometimes it can happen, yes. Telepathy is even stronger than the split twin connections with the monadic twin flames. So this connection is never toxic in any way. There is no abuse, physical or mental whatsoever. It is extremely harmonious. But what can hurt is that the other twin flame triggers the other one, not due to their behavior, but due to the rest of old programming and the situation itself. I'm going to skip a couple of slides now. You can watch the entire video. I cannot get into every detail here. I have this full lecture. Yeah, one thing that's important to mention, love doesn't care about heterosexuality, homosexuality, pansexuality, or whatever. That is just part of the cultural ego mind. Love doesn't care about skin color. And they come to end those cultural programs and prejudice, not by fighting them, but as a positive example. Of course, split twin flames can also have these typical twin flame differences, the age gap and all of that can happen in split twin flames and monadic twin flames, especially if there has been some kind of bias in the family or the cultural programming. Around the first time of the first meeting, they might go through a sudden Kundalini awakening. They quickly ascend, and they don't really need coaching. They are connected to the divine, and they are coached by spirits directly. So even though they are already knowing, they still might go through an awakening process if they have volunteered to clear family karma and collective karma. For that reason, they often have a traumatic childhood. Same can be with split twin flames, of course. However, experiencing trauma in childhood does not automatically mean somebody is a twin flame. All soul connections have their own signs and synchronicities, but with monadic twin flames, they are off the charts. I'm skipping some parts. So another thing is, I was mentioning the split twin with the energy cords. The monadic twin flames, they don't simply have energy cords between their energy bodies, but they share their energy bodies, except for the ones closest to the body. They are one soul incarnated in two bodies. There has been no split except in the 3D, since they are incarnated in separate bodies. Okay, so the split twin flames, they were one soul that split into two perfect souls, and they're still connected on higher levels, and they share energy cords. Monadic twin flames, two souls in one body, and their mission is more, you could say, mass awakening, which means that they often are somewhat public figures, but public figures doesn't necessarily mean A-list celebrity. Public figures can be the mayor of a small town, is still a public figure. A teacher is a public figure. If you are the only doctor or one out of a couple of doctors in your small town, then everybody knows you and you are a public figure. But they're usually placed in some kind of positions where they can influence others, but not influencing by manipulating, but by leading with an example, because they have high frequency, and then other people can benefit from that frequency. So again, of course, when I say they are somewhat public figures, it could be that they are celebrities, yes, but please don't think that you have a celebrity twin flame just because you feel attracted to some celebrity, because if a celebrity would be your true twin flame, you would have met them already. You know, spirit would, because it's a twin flame, it's a journey of two people, and then spirit, you would have been awakened by meeting them in person and not by seeing them on TV. Otherwise, they could be some kind of catalyst for you to prepare you for a kind of divine counterpart. And of course, I mean, with celebrities, then there's thousands of people maybe thinking, oh, this is my celebrity twin flame, but they cannot be a twin flame to thousands of people. That makes no sense. So of course, celebrities can be twin flames, but then it would be somebody they actually have met in real life, and not just some random fan that sees them on TV or something like that. They can be somewhat public in order to help other people, in order to lead with a good example, and to spread the twin flame vibes, you could say, across the world. So yeah, this is the mission of twin flames, and split twin flames more a little bit more personal, whereas Monadic Twin Flames, yes, they have a personal journey, they have their own healing, and then they do get another step further when it comes to helping others grow in a grander scale. But this is why they were created. They were created for spiritual awakening, also for union, to live that. That's the difference between Twin Flame and Catalyst. Catalyst connections, they separate after the awakening journey, and Twin Flames, they get together and they get to live together, of course, because then as a couple they bring changes, because they show like age doesn't matter, sexuality doesn't matter, culture doesn't matter, religion doesn't matter, or whatever it is, you know, class differences, they don't matter. It's just love, and they show that, and they can only show that by actually being together, not if they're in separation, because then they're not proving anything. They're not really bringing a change to society, but that is their mission. But union is possible for all twin flames. I explained it earlier. It just dealing with your own shadows and then attracting the other person, not waiting for them. So I hope this video helps and you learned something. If you did, please help me by liking, sharing this video to other twin flames, subscribing, hit the bell icon, and of course you can book your own personal coaching, and of course you can also check out my other videos. So I see you in another video or in a personal coaching, and I wish you all the best now. Bye bye.